Welcome to Essential Money Talks on this beautiful, very Tuesday in Brisbane. Do you have FOMO? Do you know what FOMO is? Okay, today we're going to talk about FOMO. And that's kind of a new word. If you're not sure what it is, you're going to know by the end. So in the dictionary, this is what FOMO says. And let me make sure I'm, doing that. Okay. And welcome for those who are listening. If you're listening via Instagram, welcome. I go live every Tuesday on my Facebook group, my Facebook page, which is Essential Spending Planner, is my Facebook, business page. And my Facebook group is Happy Spenders Beyond Budgeting. So welcome if you're listening on today. And if you have any questions, just put them in the message and hopefully I'll be able to see them. So what is FOMO? Okay, FOMO is the fear of missing out. Missing out that everybody else is having fun and everyone else is having better lives or experiencing better things, and you're not. And so it really can affect your self-esteem. So a lot of people get FOMO as a result of social media. Okay, now I'm sure you're not getting, maybe you are. If you're outside and you're really cold and I'm quite cozy in my office, you might be fearing that you wish you're missing out on being in my nice warm office. But generally, when we see things on social media of other people doing this and other people doing that, we think, we weren't, I don't have that, I want that. And we have this great fear of missing out. These are some of the ways that it can play out or that we'll feel that way, is we constantly urge to stay updated with friends because, hey, if they're going to be doing something, we want to make sure that, that we're not missing out. We always want to know what's going on the news so we don't miss out. Now, for me, the world could be probably breaking down and I wouldn't know because I don't watch the news too much often. So I don't have any FOMO of what's happening outside of my little Narangba. And so that's another thing is we might try and take photos of everything so that we don't fear of missing out of that memory or keeping that memory and having that. Which, of course, if you're taking photos of things for journal purposes, that is fine. If we hear someone else has got invited to something and you weren't and you're sad, then you have that sign of FOMO. You don't want to miss the next latest episode of whatever it is, fear of missing out. And having someone else tell you what happened on that show instead of you knowing. I know with my husband, we don't choose not to watch TV on Sunday. So if there's a football game on Sunday, he does not want anybody to tell him any scores because he wants to find out for himself when he watches it the next day. And another one is always on your phone, okay? Always on your phone, making sure you don't miss out on any feed that's going to come up that goes in. Another one, which is very big, is spending money when you can't afford it. So you're invited to go out with your friends, yet it's the day before your paycheck and you don't have any money. You've spent your money for the week, but you have that fear of missing out. And so you go and you just bring your little friend credit card, which is, I'll tell you, is not a friend. It's a friend that will stab you in the back quite repeatedly with interest and stuff, but you don't want to miss out. And so you go anyway. So those are some reasons of why. And the one that I talked about last is the most important, is we need to make sure that we're not having FOMO, but as a result, we're spending money that we do not have, because that is going to create the biggest fear of missing out as time goes on. Especially young ones, teenagers, singles, in their 20s. That's the time where FOMO is a really big thing. And everyone's going, but everyone has different goals at that point. One might be a uni student and doesn't have a lot of money. Another one might be helping to support their family because of family hardships, and so doesn't have money. It could be that they're a young married and they have a child on the way, or that they're saving for their first home. There's lots of reasons in that age group why people either do spend their money or don't spend their money. And a lot of things that we can, and also feeling that stress. And so if you're one that does go out and caves into that FOMO and goes anyway, even though you can't afford it, then that is going to bring stress. Financial stress. I don't know where my video went on Instagram anyway. But we need to think long-term. And I did one of these Essential Money Talks weeks back about thinking long-term. It is so important that when you're thinking about the fear of missing out, is it something that is just temporarily that you're missing out on, or is it something that you decide that will actually really make you miss out in the future? Just a few tips on to avoid fear of missing out. You need to focus on what you have rather than what you don't have. Okay, it's gratitude. We need to be grateful for what we have. And in doing that, maybe keep a journal. This is a good time to keep a journal. Maybe look back on your feeds in your social media and see how much fun you do have. And be grateful for what you do have and what you've had in the past. Seek out real connections. People who are going to support you in your goals, in your life goals. Okay, those friends who are going to say, "Oh, come on, what's another $25? Just put it on your credit card." Okay, those are not real good connections or friends to have, because they're not going to have to live with the stress. They're not going to live with the interest rates or anything like that of doing that. They're just they're being selfish and wanting you to be there, which is, it makes you feel good. But they're not going to be picking up the pieces or the financial pieces afterwards. And so make sure that if you have financial goals, that you let your network, your friends, your peers know what your goals are, and ask them, "Please help me to achieve my goals. Please support me. Please, I sabotage it enough as it is. I don't need you to give me fuel to sabotage my budget, my spending plan, or whatever goal that you have planned." There is a great video, and it's by Nick True, and he talks about the one word to stop using, and that is the word can't. When we use the word can't, it's as if we want to do it, but someone's kind of telling us not. And so we kind of feel, "Oh, poor me, we can't do that." And it's a negative thing. What we want to use is the word don't, or "I choose not to." So I've probably told this story before of of a mother she had 5 children with her. She was out to lunch, or out to a parade with her sister, who only had a few children. And after the parade, her sister said, "Let's go and have some breakfast somewhere." Now, this mother of five had just started her new spending plan. She was really excited and had some goals. And she knew that taking her and her five children to breakfast was not in her plan. Now, she had watched this video about one word not to use, and she kind of thought, oh, so she excused herself for a few minutes from the other mother and said, I'll be right back. And she went and she watched this video and came back with her courage and everything to say, no, I don't want to go to breakfast because I just started my new spending plan, which I'm really excited about and already seeing amazing benefits. And I want to achieve my goal that we have set. And so as a result, she didn't. And that would have probably cost her close to $100 if she would have done that. And $100 for anyone, that's, is a big thing. And so that's one word that we need to get out of our vocabulary is I can't do that. Okay. So when we're talking about FOMO, and welcome, Lydia, I know you're at work, so welcome. Don't worry, you're not really missing out on anything at home today. So we need to use the word I don't choose to do that, or I choose not to. Just don't use the word can't, because that does feel like we're denying ourselves, and it adds to that FOMO. Okay. But if you don't choose to do something because you want something better in the future, that's a great thing. Because financially, if you have FOMO now of little things, temporary things that are happening around you that you're missing out on, there is accountability to every financial choice. And so if you have a goal to save for something and you keep spending money on little things that you haven't planned for, then whatever you're planning for is going to be procrastinated or sometimes even eliminated because of those fear of missing out spending choices that we have, because we want to do those things with, whether it's our family or our friends. But by making bad choices now, spending, you're going to live with, and you're actually going to miss out in the future. There's many who just spent every dime that they make for their whole lives and might not have even put a lot of money or any money towards their retirement. And when it gets to the retirement, guess what? They're going to miss out. And there's nothing really at that point they can do. So the fear of missing out that they had initially, early on and throughout their life, actually came true. That they may not be able to retire, or may not able to go on that trip or whatever they envisioned themselves to do when they were retired, because they were more worried about the fear of missing out throughout their life. And so we need to think long term. And because, you're going to get to my age and, 10 years off, you're going to get there faster than you think. And you want to have the type of life that you want. And you don't want to create what you actually feared that you're going to miss out, where you will do that if you continue to live in the here and now. So fear of missing out can give you some sleepless nights, bring stress, depression, unstable emotions, bipolar. We don't want that. We don't want the fear of missing out. We want to use gratitude to be grateful for what we have. And I'm going to introduce a new thing I want you to do. And it's called JOMO. I want you to have JOMO, no FOMO. We're going to have JOMO. And what JOMO is the joy of missing out. The joy of missing out will energize you. It will make you happy. You'll enjoy the times and everything that you're doing. You will have stable emotions. It will be a positive thing in your life. So have JOMO, which is the fear, which is the joy of missing out. You want to miss out on things. There are things that are going on social media and all these things that you want to miss out on because it will actually bring you joy. So many people you see on Facebook, they might be going on this cruise or all these, wonderful holidays. Let me tell you that some of them, and probably more than half, may be going into debt for that. You want to have JOMO for that. You want to miss out on that. You don't want to go on a holiday that you put on credit that you couldn't afford, that you didn't plan, save, and spend first, to then come home to, which is always sad when you come home from a holiday, but add to that the debt that you incurred while you're on holiday. That's a real downer. Okay. So have JOMO, have the joy of missing out on those things that you can control. Have joy in the moment. Have joy because of the gratitude you have. Look at how you're spending your money. As you plan your spending and you save for it, you will have great joy in spending it. I'm a happy spender. That's what I teach people to do, is become a happy spender. I'm a genuine happy spender because I plan my savings, I plan my spending, I save for it, and then I happily spend. And if I do have moments where I do feel like I'm fear of missing out of something, guess what? I actually can have JOMO and actually go and do it because I've actually planned, saved so that I can, if those moments of FOMO do come up, I can actually afford it. So can you. But we need to focus on having JOMO, the joy of missing out. Okay, not everything that we see that looks perfect on the outside is perfect on the inside or the outcome. So whenever we buy something, we a lot of times spend money on the idea. We like the idea of going out with our friends, but there's nothing wrong. You can go, you can just have a drink. You can just do something really, you don't have to get that whole meal and everything like that. And so, yeah. So look at those little choices that you make. There are ways for you not to miss out and also to have the joy of missing out of the financial implications. So yes, we like the idea of buying something, but we have to think before we pay for it, what is the outcome of it? Am I going to still be happy in a day's time, in a week's time, in a year's time of whatever I'm purchasing now? Or is it an impulse thing? And if it is, if you tend to find you do a lot of that, then what you need to do is always take 24 hours to think about it before you buy it. Because within those 24 hours, you'll probably have some common sense come and realize, okay, that was an impulse, emotional type of spending that I was going to do. I'm glad I didn't do that. I'm glad that I had enough JOMO in me to say no, because you knew what the outcome was going to be. And that's not the outcome that you wanted. That was not going to bring you joy. That was going to bring you anxiety and stress. So that is my message today. Be aware of what FOMO is. See how you react to situations where you feel FOMO. And then change it around to JOMO. And if you do, you will be more grateful and you will be financially smarter and wiser and more in the bank, going towards those things that you really, really want. Not the things you think you want, the here and the now, but the things that you really, really want. Okay, thank you so much for joining today. Now, tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 6 p.m. is my regular webinar. So I have one, it alternates on a Tuesday at 12, which is usually right after this, but that was last week. or Wednesday night at 6. And so those 2 times are times for you to come on and learn a bit more about what I do and what a spending plan is and how you can benefit. So that's Wednesday night at 6 p.m. You'll see it on Meetup. And it is Protect Your Money from You, how you can protect your money from you so that when you get FOMO, that your money is protected. Because no one's going to steal your money other than you, or you may be, with peer pressure, you may be influenced to do something that you don't want to do. Okay, so be strong. Next week, we'll see you again for Essential Money Talks on Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. On here. And before then, between now and then, choose financial freedom. It is a choice. It's not a gift. And think long term. Okay. See you later.